Hey, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day. Today I want to break down into what books I recommend to read from the start of your self-improvement journey and also a good way to read them. Like how to read them? What do you mean? So let's break down into how to read them first. So of course, from the start, let's say you're starting off, right? First of all, start off with just 10 pages a day. No, I want to read half the book. Oh, it's better for me. Shut up. 10 pages a day, right? You're gonna progressively overload that every week or two. You start reading like 15 instead of 10, then 20 instead of 15. Just progressively overload it, okay? Get that out the way. Now what I want you to do when you're reading is get a notebook beside you and kind of start taking notes. So as you're reading, the moment you like learn something new or like you something you get deep enough, like, oh, I know this is true, but I never like really thought about it like this. Write it down. Keep writing down, right? What I like to do as well is like if you're reading depends on the type of book you're reading, because like a book like Deep Work doesn't have many chapters as I remember. Like if you're reading like The Millionaire Fast Lane, write down like every chapter or like every section, whatever, for what type of, it depends on the book you're reading really. And write down in bullets what you learn every day in your notebook. Also something very nice to implement that I literally thought of this 2 days ago. That's why I made this video and I really like it, is the idea of really writing down what you learned for that day in general, like a little summary and how you could use it. And like, so I'm right now reading The Millionaire Fast Lane. It's talking about the money trees. What I'm doing right now is I'm just writing down everything I learn every day, right? And I kind of do like a little section, like I said. And recently I've been saying to myself, okay, so I got the YouTube. I want the YouTube to like, do good. That's my main form of income. And I'm using the TikTok and the Instagram as just a way to build up to the YouTube. Why not kind of use that as just two other forms of income, two other assets, use it to my advantage, right? Things that money trees in this section I'm reading right now. So quickly, just how to read, bullets, and then a summary of what you read every day. Now, what I want you to do also, before we get into the books to read, is reread these books quite a bit. The first time, let's just go for the first 3 reads. First time, kind of just like to write down the new things, the summary, right? Second time, put on a highlighter. And also, mind you, real quick, don't like reread these right away. Kind of just like wait a few months, let it sit, and kind of remember everything again. Then get a highlighter for it. Even if you remember writing this down, put a highlighter for it, like, right? And just like a certain color. And do the things I said already, bullets, and then the things you learned for the day for your section of reading. And mind you, by this time, you're gonna have like, reading 50 pages a day with progressively overloading it. So we're reading more now. And then, like I said, just all over again. Highlight, bullet, summarize. And then you can leave the book alone again. And mind you, I won't like read more books as you go through, right? So you kind of have a gap of like new information. So the next read, change the highlight color. Maybe you'll find new things, right? Because I'm telling you to do the exact same thing. Bullet in it and then summarize for the day. Maybe you'll find new things, more information, like, oh, I didn't catch on to this from the first or second read, but I got up to this one. Once you get to that point where you're kind of rereading it a few times and like, okay, I remember everything now, the summaries of the day, right? I don't really need it anymore, or at least I don't need to keep rereading it fully anymore. Alright, fair enough, good. Leave the book alone. So now look. So I need to look back at the aspects, right, for whatever you're doing, right? Because you know the book so well now. You reread it 3 times, 4 times, whatever. Now you can just kind of flip back into the book. I need to know how to display this form of thing in my business, right? So you can go down to the SENS acronym on the Millionaire Fast Lane, right? I mean, it's perfect. Like, just make sure, again, like it's perfect. I'm gonna say it again. The bulletin points, the summary of the day, and every time you reread it, the different highlight colors. Like, when you're settled on it, you kind of remember everything, leave it alone, and use it when you need to. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to show you my personal book recommendations from the start, and kind of when you're kind of building up to a different level of stuff. Okay, a bit of a lower angle here, because I actually use a lot of these books to stack everything up so I can record. But I'm going to get into the first one. So usually when you see people like self-improvement influencers talk about starting books, you usually see the typical 4-hour work week, Millionaire Fast Lane, and I am recommending those, right? You'll see it already, I'll just say it already. But what I don't like is when you're starting on self-improvement, you do want to start a business or something, you don't really have the business in mind. You don't know what it is. When I started off and I read those 2 books, The Millionaire Fast Lane and The 4-Hour Work Week, the information was great, but it was just information in my mind without knowing what to do. Didn't know what I wanted to do with my business. Didn't know what type of business in general to start. So the information, as it was good information, I did write it down. I still remember it. It didn't help me too much. It just kind of helped me remember what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do with a business, though. I didn't know the business, right? There's better books online, and maybe if after you read all these and you still don't know, maybe then read them. But I had a much better read for those two books when I knew what I wanted to do. When I knew I wanted to be a YouTuber on here, an influencer. I read that, and the information I kind of like processed and just imagined myself doing all those things. Perfect. The first one I want to start, self-improvement, psycho-cybernetics. The angle, of course, you're going to see like reversed. Psycho-cybernetics. I'll put it up on the screen anyway. I'll just put it here. Perfect book for mindset. Kind of just tells you how the brain works. It tells us how we're literally designed to be successful, to set goals, and to strive for them. Humans are not as fulfilled without a purpose. This is exactly what this book explains. It kind of breaks into this thing called the creative mechanism, which I love. I'll kind of talk about this in another video, but I'll summarize it right here. The creative mechanism is just basically you're thinking of a solution to something, whether it be for your business, whether it be for like homework or whatever. It could range from like literally importance up to here to here. You kind of just intensely think about it, even if you don't get an answer. Maybe generate a few ideas, right? Kind of put them in. Intensely think for like 20 minutes. Let's say here, I'm just sitting here on my bed, imagining, okay, what's a good video idea I could put up today? I kind of come up with like a few trashy ones, right? Which I have a lot of scripts of, just a few trashy ones. I come up with a few, and then it's morning. I like to think in the morning, right? Ideas, whatever. I go make breakfast, like, a nice bagel or whatever. As I'm putting it in the toaster, kind of spreading, like, wait, well, this is a good idea. I'm gonna write this down real quick, and they keep popping up like that. It's so weird. I think it's a coincidence, but it's not. It's literally how our brain works. The creative mechanism is a big thing in that book that I just love. It's just positive thinking in general. It's a perfect book. I'm not even gonna pull up the books. I know it's gonna like show in reverse, but then The Magic of Thinking Big as well. Another good mindset book. It's not one that kind of goes into the brain as much, but it definitely goes into having a good mindset. It's just a book everyone loves in the self-improvement community. You just can't go wrong with it. It explains how to set big goals, bigger goals than you could imagine. Kind of just like literally tackling the realistic goals, like not wanting to do them. And how it goes against the concept of realistic goals and setting rather bigger ones, because the bigger ones, fulfill us more at the end of the day, right? You can set a realistic goal, kind of put like a little bit less effort into it rather than like a big goal where like you have to put action to it. I explained this in the video. I'll put it up right here. It's like, watch this video if you want to change your life. This is like a goal striving video, like how to set up goals. And this is basically exactly where the principle comes from that book, The Magic of Thinking Big. How to win friends and influence people. Self-improvement hood classic. Everyone loves this book. It's a great book. Even if you're not even on self-improvement, I'd recommend to read it. I honestly probably should have put this on earlier. I just love those other books so much. Fantastic.
Sensational.
It just tackles everything. Human relations, convincing people, giving the people the sense of importance. Because at the end of the day, we do want stuff from people. We are selfish people. It kind of breaks down into that book. We are selfish people. We want that. We live in a selfish world, so why not take advantage of it? Be unselfish. Use the importance you give them, taking them to us, to our benefit. Basically like that. I haven't read it in a bit. I'm definitely going to reread that soon. It's such a good book, and I highly recommend it. Everyone knows. I think it's like a book everyone knows about. It's always recommended to them. You look at this, I was like, that sounds like a loser book. I have a lot of friends, right? It's not really what it's about. Of course, you could probably make good friends from this book. Yeah, it's literally human relations, but it's not like literally, I can only read this book if I have no friends, right? No, it's not like, again, it's not really about that. It's a fantastic book. It's like, even if you're not on self-improvement, even if you don't like reading, you can read one book in your life. Well, okay, I'm on Christian, so I'd advocate the Bible, but if you can read 2 books in your life, read that one as well. Last one is Deep Work. Deep Work is a book I'm going to be using a lot of the information from into my videos in the coming future for sure. Such a good book. Tackles how to really be productive. It gets into how we should rather do deep work compared to shallow work. So what's deep work? Deep work is just a block of time, hour 30, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, a big amount of time where you have intense focus, intense desire to whatever you're doing in that present moment. It's found that this is where the best work from us comes from, and it really goes against shallow work. What's shallow work? Give it a 9-to-5 job. Look at a 9-to-5 job. That's shallow work. In your office, you're typing, you're doing whatever you need to, kind of calling clients. The boss emailed, someone else emailed, gotta keep checking them, I gotta keep checking this. I'm already in the good workflow. Oh, someone emailed, I have to check, or I might get fired, I might get demoted. That is what it is. It's just constant distractions while you're working. You're not having really intense desire for it. Because at the end of the day, right? Rather, if you have a focused desire on something, nothing can distract you. Now, if you're doing work, like you're actually in a good flow, maybe for like a few minutes, you get a nice message, you have to check it. Like, even if you know there's a message, instead of 100% of your mind being focused on the work, it's a 50-50 now. It's the work and the message, right? What could it be? Could it, be important? Could it be something I have to answer? Whatever. It's a big part of the book, but in general, that book tackles a lot, and it's a high recommend. Some of the ones I mentioned, I was going to say 4-Hour Work Week and The Millionaire Fast Lane. The 4-Hour Work Week really gets into a different type of lifestyle people are not really used to. It's like a new rich, exactly, as he says in the book, a new rich, where we minimize our work, we set a lot of leverage for ourselves in our work, using the principles called the 80-20, the Parkinson's law, whatever, and it kind of like also gets into outsourcing, where you hire like assistants from foreign countries, mostly third world. And in general, yes, it's a good book. It's a good way to open up to a new lifestyle that I highly recommend trying to live. I'm definitely trying to strive for that 4-Hour Work Week lifestyle. The Millionaire Fast Lane, it's kind of similar in a way, I guess, but it really just tackles into 3 sections of people. It kind of generalizes people 3 sections, right? The sidewalkers, the slow laners, and the fast laners. The sidewalkers are just like the typical incel degenerate, just spending their money every time they get a paycheck, designer clothes, all this crap to make themselves look rich. You get it. Slow laners are the people who really try to make all their income from the job, right? Like they gotta go to college, get a good job, and they just kind of keep putting it into index funds, and maybe they'll strike it rich when they're old. And he really goes into that book a lot. I remember first time thinking like, geez, he's going into those slow lane people, but it really goes into just how it's a horrible lifestyle to live, how this is not even likely you'll get it, and if you do get it, it's not worth it because you're gonna obtain the riches at a later age. Fast lane is, getting the business, the brand, whatever, to accumulate money quicker. It kind of gets into the concept of you can make money quick. Get rich quick is a thing, despite what you might think of it, because like those clickbait ads, get rich easy isn't. Rich quick and get rich easy are way different. That's exactly what he explains in the book. He gets into this thing, I mentioned this in another video already, the social media one, the money trees, stuff like this, where, building up assets. It also breaks down into the SENSE acronym, kind of like those little commandments, as he says, for building your business. Again, it's just a great book in general. All those books I recommend, highly recommend. I'd recommend kind of reading that in that order. Maybe How to Win Friends and Influence People actually first. That's a great book, like I've already said. I might change that order and then break down into those business books after those. Like I said, just keep it all for later when you kind of maybe have a better idea of what you want to do for your business. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.